Welcome to. This is an announcement. I figured out yesterday, some people know this because they happen to be on YouTube when this happened. I figured out how to do a live stream. Now here's the deal. You could always for a long time do a live stream on YouTube, but you needed to download software from somewhere and put it on your computer apparently so YouTube and your computer could interface. But apparently like in the last week, you don't have to do that anymore because I was asking around, I was going to upload something. And the icon, which is usually the upload icon, which is like a box with an arrow going up into it, was like a plus sign with weird stuff on it. So I clicked on it, and uploading the video was one option. Something else, I forgot what the hell it was, and it said live stream. And I was like, hey, so there you go. So that was my first live stream, even though I was really caught by surprise. But I didn't want to hang up on the first couple dudes or dudettes that were there, so I just kept going. So, I'm going to schedule one. What is today? Today is Saturday, because that was yesterday, which was Friday. Today is Saturday, April 7th. It's 1:46 Central Daylight Time. I'm going to schedule one for... When should I schedule it? Oh, shoot. I don't know. What if I schedule it for... Oh, shoot. You know what the problem is? You know, I have a family here. I don't want to schedule it. I want to try and schedule it for a time where people overseas, because there were surprisingly a number of people from overseas that wanted to see it. So I would guess that probably the prime time... Shoot. I don't know, man. I don't know. I gotta think about that. All right, well, let's just play the drums then. So I do have to think about it. Throw your suggestions below. I would guess that maybe like a Saturday or Sunday, maybe about noon or 1 or 2 o'clock Central Time, because then you'd have the 6 or 7 hours Europe and stuff, so it might be later. But on a weekday, a lot of people, I don't know, are working. So check it out. I have the 2 mics set up. All right. So I'm just going to play a little, let me play a little drums. It'll be like a solo, I guess, except that it'll be like a, just like a, we'll call it a piece. So, how do you like my shirt? This is my Burger Boy shirt. When I get my haircut, sometimes my wife says I have Burger Boy head. I think that's why she gave me the shirt. All right. My left hand was going counterclockwise, my right hand clockwise. And the opposite. My stick just broke. You know, I'm in a bizarre mood today, I must say. And I started feeling this way yesterday. I think I had food poisoning or a virus or something because I've been going to the bathroom a lot, but also doing the yickety-yak, doing the vomit, man. I've had skitters out both ends. It kind of sucks. I feel drained, man. You know what that seems to do? That does seem to put the ADD in the cage a little bit. So I'm sort of just more like Bob relaxed, like, hey. So, us and them. God only knows. Ordinary man. All right, so what else? So yeah, I got to tell you, I was really thrilled about the FaceTime. It was really bizarro. It was kind of cool, man. So, you know, the bummer is, though, is a lot of questions kind of come in. So I want to figure out a way not to, like, skip over questions. But I have a good memory, so where if I answer people's questions one time and I do another one, I'll remember, I'll give preference to other people that I know I haven't replied to before. So that was really exciting, man. Think about interactive. You know what I want to do? I want to get the computer in my studio, get a couple cameras. It'll be like, you know, I've been telling bands they should do this for years because I haven't really been in a band proper to do this. Bands out there, existing bands, like once a month or every 2 months, should have like a pay-per-view thing. I mean, you do got to make a living, right? We get the whole band in the rehearsal room and for like an hour straight or 2 hours. So at the same time somebody would have it, they're going to go pay for a movie, right? You're going to go pay for a movie at the theater, you know, you're not sure if it'd be good. But if you're going to pay like $10 for 2 hours to see your favorite band, you sit around, there's a camera on the drummer and the guitar player and everybody, and they go in and they're sitting around sipping beers or whatever, and they're talking about this. Remember that show and blah, blah, blah. Hey, let's run through blah, blah, blah. Hey, look, Lisa in Aberdeen asked about this song. Ooh, and you talk about it. Do that once a month or every 2 months. It's a cash cow for bands, man. I want to do that, except unfortunately I don't have a band that's at all famous or with good songs. Stop. So here I am, though. So people asked about the drums, my Vista lights. I'm going to put another kit up just to mix it up a little. Ooh. I do want to put... I have this... Ludwig stopped putting tone controls in the in the 6.5 and 5x14 Supras and Supers, I think in the early mid-90s, maybe a little later than that. They should put them back in again, though. They do come in handy. They used to put them in the Black-Relights, in the 5x14 Black-Relights all the way up until they discontinued them, which isn't that long ago, 5 or 6 years ago. In the 6.5x14 Black-Relights, I think they left the tone controls in there a little longer than the chrome-plated Supras and Supers, but they discontinued those too. Later Black-Relights, 6.5x14s you find will not have tone control. But anyway, so I have my Yamaha, this guy, well here, listen what it sounds like here. But then I put this guy on, you get, it's not totally dead, but you get a little more, it's a little more, I'd actually, for certain Zeppelin studio stuff, you almost want even a little deader than that. Okay? Because remember, Bonham used the tone control. He did mute his drums. I think his toms were always open, but his bass drum and his snare drum, he muted. But so this is more like Since I've Been Loving You. bore you with that, though, because I've done that a couple times. So, but anyway, so here we are. Somebody asked about my sticks. I'm using my Vic Firth Keith Moons. Oh, I know. I got cut off at the knees. I forgot. There were a couple things that I started talking about that I stopped talking about in the thing. One is I've been working on my singles. Remember, I started doing the puppy dog, and then I stopped. If you remember, I was able to publish the live stream feed I did yesterday, so it's my latest video up. But I realized that I'd watch videos and footage of people when they do really fast single strokes, like Joe Morello and Buddy Rich and a lot of these folks. I noticed that when I'm always playing the drums, I really seem to have this going on. So what I'm trying to do is just get to the point where I can relax and let this, like Dick Culley, and like a lot of these folks say, you don't ever really want to necessarily go up here. You want it to... So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make an invention. If somebody wants to beat me to it, get a thing that you can Velcro on. Like you wear these when you practice your single strokes. It's like a board. And it might say like, Bonzoleum board for practicing. And you Velcro it on and you realize it just self-corrects. Like when you're practicing, you just don't want to feel that smack, right? Kind of like an eye patch to correct a lazy eye. Or a muzzle for a dog. Or one of those robot control things for a dog. All right, so... But I noticed that in single strokeville, it really is, it's like the opposite sort of mental feeling you have, I think, to play really fast single strokes. Then like your first approach is to get all worked up about it, right? So I started talking about that. I wanted to say that. Also the sticks. I do think a drum company could do the taper, could really make a job, but go out and get, remember there's a couple versions of the 2A stick. Remember they said Bonham played 2As, Ludwig 2Bs, sometimes like a Gretsch 5B, I think, sometimes a Promuco, or sometimes a certain Premier model, whatever. But he did, by and large. I mean, there's sticks that people say, I got it at a show. And it says Ludwig on it, and it usually says 2A, okay? So in the they made a 2A model probably for a long time. When you got like a 60s 2A, I have one or two floating around here, and a 70s into the 80s, they're slightly different, okay? So I guess what you do is you might decide on the ultimate spec. I think they were all 15. I think they were 15 and 17/8 in length. They were pretty fat here, but really, you think about that taper, that cooling tower shape would really provide more rebound here. Really, I mean, it would just. All right, so you could do that. Now you wouldn't have to use the Bonham name. What I did again, I said on mine that I was selling the JB2A. It's a 2A JB by whomever. Okay. And remember, a company, like a big company like ProMark or Vader or Vic Firth, they could crank those out, man. It probably costs them to make a pair of sticks. Maybe like $2 a pair, maybe. I'm not knocking them. God love them. I mean, it's a business they have, right? I mean, everybody along the way, jobbers and the stores have to make money and stuff. But the custom guys, the rich sticks folks that went out of business, it cost them. I mean, they weren't sure if they were going to even be able to make it. I think he thought he was going to blow the stick up every time because of the nature of that. But I do know they would sell. And I think that particular feature of going up the shaft of the stick would really provide a little more rebound. All right. So, what else? So, I was going to go, I still might go into Rax Track Studio to do my thing. I'm going to talk about my own project later, but I think it's really going to work. I think I might be revolutionary. So essentially what I'm going to do is this, though. So right now I'm going to compose a song. You may or may not hear me humming. But what you'll hear is you'll hear a drum track that hopefully is in tune and in time with itself. I'm sorry. I'm telling you, I think I'm fighting a bug off, and I'm glad that was just air. You know what I'm saying? I'm glad that a projectile globule just didn't shoot on to that Premier drum over there. All right, so I got to think of something that's not banal. Banal. So what's happening is there's a melody. There's a whole song I kind of hear in my head that I'm sort of just letting happen. But I'll sing it too. I'm going to sing it into a device or hum it into one of these things where I can then capture that. And, all right, so it's going to be. Let me just go. Something here. necessarily I wasn't really thinking of a melody there. I was just trying to play time, something sort of creative, just time-wise, without really thinking of a melodic thing. That's why the first chunk of sort of the odd, pseudo-odd meter thing sort of seemed out of place with sort of the hip-hoppy techno-funk beat I put after, or whatever the hell that's called. So here we are. More videos on the way. I will schedule, serious Ed. I mean, this is not a Rickroll on the scheduling. I'm going to schedule a FaceTime thing, but I'd really like to try to get it if I could. I mean, to people maybe in Japan and stuff, I mean, they're 12 hours. It's an opposite thing, right? But I'll try to cater to everybody from California to Poland, right? So we'll try to figure out a time there where people aren't working. We can all chat. And I'm going to mention names and stuff. Like, we'll try to be like, we're going to make it, it's going to be, think about it. This could be like the prehistoric, all of us get together. What if there's a time in like 5 years we have goggles on and you can see everybody almost like Brady Bunch at each other, like, you know what I'm saying? And we're like, hey, look, we're in the basement. Hey, look at this. It's a Pleistocene 2002 from way back in 2012. Ooh, you know what I mean? Anyway, I got to feel better. I might need an Advil or two. Thanks for watching. More videos on the way.